You know what? This is a good Rakan game. I mean, Karth is ADC, but I will teach you guys how to Rakan. Has anyone here wanted to play Rakan but doesn't know how to? I will teach you. For those that don't know, I had 2 accounts in my... I don't even remember when I stopped playing League or what season it was. Like... Well, I had a Grandmaster Janna Soraka account, whatever, and I had a Grandmaster separate account on like tank supports like Thresh, Rakan, Nautilus, Taric, blah blah blah, to prove that I can climb not just Enchantresses, I can play other supports. And I'm a pretty cracked Thresh. I will show you guys how to play Rakan. This is actually a pretty okay team comp to verse as Rakan. Your Thresh videos are really good. Yeah, I miss playing Thresh a lot, but I don't really play Thresh anymore because I know that even if I'm a cracked Thresh, I am a cracked Thresh, even though I am a... Oh my god. I forgot to swap off my Yuumi runes. It's fine. I was too busy talking. Oh my fucking god. Anyways, I was trying to say like, even though I am really good at Thresh, just like, at the end of the day, since the girlies, you fucking gays and girls, you fucking gays and girls don't play anything but Enchantresses, so you don't even care about Thresh, you don't even watch Thresh. So it doesn't even matter if I play Thresh. Like, I could have like a crack Thresh game, you girls don't care. But I could like shit out some Morgana game or some Janna game and you'll eat it up, even though like I did nothing. So it's like, well, no point in me playing Thresh then. I may as well, from a business standpoint, I may as well just stick to my Enchantresses, even though they're boring as fuck. Same old shit. I feel like Rakan is like the middle ground. The most the girls would go. The girlies don't even touch Taric, because Taric is just so like slow. Anyways, I have frickin' Exhaust, Ignite and Exhaust because I forgot that I went Yuumi. And I forgot to change the frickin' runes, but it's okay, I can make this work since Rakan is on the faster side with his dashing. So I can make this work. So ideally I would want Flash. By the way, my rune's in the bottom left corner, so you can check that. Ideally I would want Ignite and Flash. By the way, here's a pro tip for Rakan. You only pick Rakan in certain matchups, and those certain matchups, very generally, I'm not going to run through every 150 characters in the game, is you generally want... So his strengths is that he's good at peeling melee champions off your characters, and he's good at AoE. 2 things. Those are the 2 things. So he's not good against range comps. It's really hard to make his ultimate work against range comps. So look at the enemy matchup. Are they melee or mostly consisting of melee, especially assassin like Kassadin or whatever? You know, Talon, Kassadin, Zed, Yasuo. Great, pick Rakan. And then look at your team. Does your team need AoE type of stuff? If your team does not need the AoE type of clumping, like whatever thing, then don't bother with Rakan, pick another character. But if your team comp can make use of the AoE, then go for Rakan. So Rakan is actually pretty good in this matchup. Also, not only is it melee, but you have to remember that Rakan is AoE stuff. He does not have good lockdown. So if there's a champion on the enemy team that requires like really long lockdown, Rakan is not your character. He's not good at that. Because his crowd control is pretty short. It's just that he can crowd control 5 people, but on 1 person it's kind of like mediocre. If you want like single lockdown, you're better off playing like Leona or like Thresh. And then we get level 2 with Relic Shard. Relic Shard. Oh god. I gotta dash away. Yeah. Because Karthus didn't get me to level 2. Anyways. Rakan versus Morgana feels really bad, yeah. There are some matchups I would never pick Rakan. And that's a tip about tank support and all. It's like, I know some of you girlies that are playing Enchantresses or whatever, you might be wanting to try out a new tank support or try new things out to test out your like going further than the Enchantresses. My biggest thing is matchups and team comps are more important for melee support and tank support, or wardens or whatever. With Enchantresses, you can get away with one-tricking Soraka, one-tricking Janna, one-tricking Millie or whatever, because like a lot of times Enchantresses can kind of work in like most comps and they're okay. But when it comes to like tank stuff, like there are just some things I would never play. They're not bad characters, like Thresh is fine, but there are some matchups I would never play Thresh in. It's just like there will be some matchups that I would never play Alistar in, or I would never play Rakan in. Like I have to be very, very like picky in my thing. I don't know if we're stronger since it is Carter, so his damage is unreliable, so I don't really want to engage, though, although I definitely could on you. So... we can fight this. Like, if the enemy had to cast it in, I always almost pick Rakan. Like, cast it in a few other melee. Because Rakan has very, very fast crowd control, like, instant type of stuff. I would never pick Thresh into... who? Like, Yasuo. I think Thresh into Yasuo is, like, asking for, like, a hard time. Wind War, constant dashing, bitch, like, how are you gonna land a hook? You're not gonna land a hook. But a Rakan into Yasuo is very easy. Yasuo dashes in, bam, that's a E plus R, and I charm him, and... I feel like Rakan is less tanky than other because he's not a tank. He's a hybrid. He's not a tank. Thresh is not a tank, Rakan is not a tank, Bard is not a tank. They're not tanks. That's why they're squishy. He's like Enchantress, Warden. That's why you don't get tank boots on Rakan. You get like cooldown reduction boots, or you get the movement speed boots. Unless like, you know, you're versing like a really hard, like hardcore AP comp or like hardcore AD comp. You most likely want Lucidity or whatever. Because you're not taking damage purposely. That's why you never go tank Rakan, by the way. Like, you would never see Rakan with like a Frozen Heart or like whatever tank items. You know why? Because he's not in range. He's not in melee range. He wants to get in, get out. You don't want to purposely be standing in front of the enemy's face. I don't know where the jungler is. Yeah, I was thinking, I'll just tank this. Fucking let me dash. Imagine if I had flash instead of this ugly ass exhaust. Like, oh my god. If only I had flash and not ugly ignite exhaust. But it is what it is. Unpopular opinion, Rakan is all for teamfight engage. That's not an unpopular opinion. That's actually a fact. He's actually really bad at engaging himself. That's why you need a team comp that is melee. Like Malphite plus Rakan. Rakan is not a solo engager. Rakan is a follow-up engager. You have someone jump in for you, and then you press E to dash to them and thing. Like, you will never find a Rakan like solo engaging anything unless he has flash and has like from the shadows, from the void, and like jumps out of nowhere. Like, you will never see a Rakan initiating. Which is why I would never play Rakan versus like a very ranged enemy comp. This is why you pick Rakan in a melee type of thing. Melee versus melee. If they have Kassadin jumps in, easy, press R, you got his ass. But imagine if you're versing like, verse Seraphim, verse Seraph, verse all these range ass bitches. It's like, okay, what are you gonna R? Nothing. Literally nothing. That's why melee matchups, like support and all, like matter so much more. Whereas in Enchantresses, just pick your Janna, pick your whatever, do whatever you want. Which is probably why some of the girlies, when they play tanks, they might be having a hard time when they're like, oh, I'm wanting to play something else other than Enchantresses, I'm trying to learn Rakan, but I'm finding it hard. Maybe it's hard because you're playing in bad matchups, and it's more worth to like try a different champion. But the problem with that is, you guys don't flex your tank support. Y'all don't flex your tank support because you only want to stick to Leona and Rakan and nothing else, and maybe Taric for those that really want to push it. But will I ever see you guys playing like Alistar? No. Get that. Get him. Nice. Lol. I probably didn't take that kill, but whatever. Hello, you just stole my nashes. That's okay. I'll carry. He said he still... The way he still has nashes, what a liar. I'm gonna cut this all. I should have damaged a bit more. You just stole my nashes, but he has nashes. Like... what? The lies. The absolute lies. I first started playing League of Legends Season 2. My first character was Annie. The lies, literally, the actual lies. Well, my Cheryl is important, bitch, so suck it. Suck my nut. Literally Kessler. I've had too many bitches like lose kills over shit, so I'm like, no, I'm not risking it, I'll just take the kill. Too many times has it happened where I try to give the kill to my teammate and they fucking flop, so I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I will use my E to get an assist. Oh, the assist in question. Well, we don't have a Karthus R in bot lane. So I don't know if we'll be weaker. I don't know if we can 2v2. Recon versus Vlad is okay, because like I said, Recon is very fast crowd control, very fast if you can get in range. And usually you can get in range with Vlad. The only problem with Recon versus Vlad is that you don't have enough lockdown for him, because like I said, his single target is really bad, and with Vladimir, you want to kill him before he like does his stupid shit of like healing up everything and AoEing everything. He's like, I fucking hate Vlad late game, he's so annoying to verse. So generally, I don't really like picking tank supports against like Vlad and all, like I'd rather just like pick like Sona or Karma and just AoE shield. But if you must, I guess Rakan would be your easiest, would be a better bet, because like you can kind of lock him down pretty quickly. Like Leona can't really keep up with his puddle. She tries to ult, he just puddles away or whatever. But like Rakan to Vlad is not a good. It's not a good pick, but it's also not a bad pick. It's a fine pick. You don't counter Vlad, but Vlad doesn't counter you either. What the fuck is she doing? I guess we're doing Rift Herald. Honestly, I don't think there's a tank support that can deal with Vlad like really, really effectively. The turret! Oh, ignited. Oh, fuck, I thought we could kill him, but I guess not. What a waste of my ult and all. Like, Sona and Karma have the best time with Vlad just because the AoE shield. I don't like Janna into Vlad. Janna can be okay if you can get a good tornado. That's like literally your only way to win. And AoE healing with your ultimate. But it's like really bad because you're standing still and then Vlad just shits on you. So it's, I think Janna's a bit unreliable against Vlad. I guess your other bet would be like to go Lulu and like trust in your ADC and like hyper carry that. Yes. I'll just get anti-healing against Vlad, but I don't really know. Redemption? Maybe? We'll see. We'll see what the comp is. Like whoever's strong, if Vlad gets strong, then it's like anti-heal, blah blah. If not... Ardent Center, Soft Flung Waterworks with Diana. Both of them. The thing about Rakan as well as a strength is that he can shield and kind of pocket heal your not pocket heal, but like kind of heal your team. So if your team needs a bit more like healing, like your ADC, then Rakan is really good at kind of babysitting that. But that's not really a Vlad problem, a Rakan problem, Mango. Like if Vlad flashes in and kills your ADC, then like literally nothing would help your ADC other than like healing or shielding. Which means Rakan is your best bet in terms of like the wardens and all. Because there's no one else that can do such a thing other than like Taric, but like Taric gets destroyed by Vlad, and also Taric shielding and healing numbers is less. Taric's, oh my god, I put that too close. Taric's shielding number is based on max health, so it's stronger on tanks than it is on an ADC. Favorite elite character lore? I don't know. Goodbye, Tristana. Let's try catch that, if possible. Oh, I stopped it. Dash! Yeah, did you see my ult there? I did every single ult. I stopped the Nunu ult. I stopped the Kai'Sa thing. Like, this is what I mean about my ultimate. It's really good against melee champion. If they were all ranged, I would have had a harder time with that. Yeah, thank you. And that's how you play Recon. I like to E and R first and then I use my W later. I almost never do WR unless it's an emergency. And the reason for that is because your W and R will then stack onto each other and it won't be good. Because your W is a 1 second knockup. Your W takes like less than a second, sorry, to like actually land like that. So you're getting like half a second charm and then the 1 second knockup. So it doesn't lap together well, overlap well. So I like to R first and then W. When I first played Recon, I actually flopped a lot, especially with my W. I actually had a lot of people pinging me, like spam question mark pinging because I was so bad at Recon with my W's. Like I was literally inting, like I would just miss every W and then like fucking die afterwards. I don't really know what happened for me to like get better other than practice. Especially in laning phase, I would miss all my W, but practice makes perfect. And just knowing that you can get away with your E. Yes, the charm, I like to do R, W as well, because the R charm first helps you get the W off. And plus it makes sense, because it's like when you W, Like, when you R people, you charm them to gather them up, because charm pulls them in. And then you can W them afterwards. But if you W first, and then try to run in with your R later afterwards, then you're not really AoEing W. You're only getting like one person. Yes, I use my Rakan ultimate to stop the Nunu ult in bot lane. Rakan is also pretty good in extended fights because he's Enchantresses. He's an Enchantress, like hybrid. Enchantresses thrive in longer fights with their shielding and healing. So Rakan is good in like long fights as well. He excels a lot in like bruiser fights and all. I did remember the AP Rakan mid, but those type of things I don't really count as much or anything substantial. Because those are like things that like last for like 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever. Because someone found out about it and then people had fun with it. But it's not like a long lasting meta that like really means anything. Like, you don't have to use your W straight away. You can just run at them with your ultimate, because your ultimate is like pretty, makes you fast. Because with the first person you hit, you get extra movement speed. So you don't have to rush things. And I'm doing this without flash. If I had flash, my engages would be so much more easier. Like, oh my god. Like, just E, R, and then flash onto someone would be so much more easier. But nope, I have it closed. I just wait here. I don't have all, but right. Oh. Nice. Do you right click on them? Do you right click behind them or team? I right click wherever. Like, I just walk to them. Like however you walk normally. Is there an underrepresented support archetype you would like to see in the future? In the future champ? In terms of being played? Not really. But in terms of the gays and the girls, I wish they would stop playing so many Enchantresses, honestly. I wish the gays and girls would play more than just Enchantresses. Because like, a lot of them, they play a champion for the aesthetics. And they will say things like, I would never play a champion because this XYZ is like ugly. But they also convince themselves that a champion is boring in terms of their playstyle and kit, which is not true. It is absolutely not true. Like, the gays and girls can like games like CSGO, they can like champions like Tom Kench or whatever, or Leona or whatever, tanks or like Bruises or Darius, whatever. Like, they absolutely can if they give it a chance. So like, I have no problems with someone that's says like, oh, I've tried Darius 10 times and I don't like Darius, he's not my thing. That's fine. If you tried it and you don't like it, sure. But that's not what's happening with the gays and girls when they like, they actually have not tried anything So it's literally impossible for them to know if they would like it or not. Like they can tell themselves all they like about like, oh, I wouldn't like Darius or I wouldn't like Tom Kench. But at the end of the day, like if you haven't played it, you don't know. You can't say for sure. You cannot say for sure. And I don't like that they convince themselves that they are so sure when you can't be that sure. I don't take comment anymore. On Janus. Come in. I'll just use this for speed boost. I don't need it all. I already want that. I'm ulting this. Oh. I nearly... I think I ulted a little... No, I W'd a little wrong. So I got the Norbless and then I got the Kai'Sa, but I didn't W both of them. I W'd only one. Well, despite me not having Flash, this was a very successful Rakan game. And again, this success comes from team comp as well. If it weren't for this team comp, like, you know, everything that we've spoke about, I wouldn't have this level of success. But then, because I wouldn't have that level of success, I wouldn't even have picked Rakan in the first place. Like, playing tank support and melee support and warden or whatever is like, a lot of it comes down to like knowing your matchups and just like knowing when to not pick things. Don't get me wrong, if you want a one-trick Rakan and you want a one-trick Tarek and you love Braum that much and you want a one-trick Braum, you certainly can. Of course there are challenger Braum players and challenger one-trick Thresh and whatever, of course there are. But I'm just letting you know that there are just some matchups that are a lot more worse than others for these tank supports or whatever, these hybrids. And you're better off playing another champion. Does scaling exist in League of Legends? Girl, now you're trolling me. Let me get... Honestly, it doesn't even matter what item we get now, we've already won. Added Center helps these, Kaka, Watch helps everyone. Redemption can help against the AoE, but we are already so strong. Like, survive, like, we already win, so I'm just gonna get this. This helps everyone but the Tristana. Do you wanna play Valorant after Legs and Vince? I like Renata. I think Renata's cool. I think that she's very situational as well though. I would not just like pick Renata or nilly-willy. I feel like she requires specific comps. Well, this is GG. Honestly, I'm glad they don't surrender. Much time. Do it all board. I mean, obviously it comes down to skill, but I'm making the point that you can increase your chances of winning if you pay attention to your... Just like, pay attention to team comps. You can manipulate your win rate by just playing things in specific matchups or whatever. I'll give you an example of in terms of win rates. I'll give you a really good example. Taric. If you look at the win rates for Taric in high ranks, not now anymore because you can't do it, but back then, if you looked at the win rates of Masters plus Taric, you would see Taric has the highest win rate for support. And you'd be like, oh my god, what the fuck, Taric is so good, like, he must be the best character in the world. But then if you dig deeper, you would know that Taric is only good with his win rate because it's Master Yi plus Taric dual wing, Master Yi Taric jungle. So you can manipulate Taric's win rate because you have a favorable thing going for him. That is, you manipulated it by playing Taric and Master Yi. Same thing with matchups in like things like Lux. you might look at Lux support, because there was a time Lux support was like a thing, and everyone, all the girlies were telling me, oh my god, Lux support win rate is so great, blah blah blah, people are playing them in tournaments, like, oh my god, does this mean Lux support is the most OP thing in the world? We should all play Lux support, like, you're wrong that Lux support is bad, because, you know, I'm a bit of a I'm a hater when it comes to Lux support. It's like, yeah, you could look at it that way, but if you looked at it deeper on a deeper level, you would actually see that the only time they ever played Lux support in the tournaments was Lux and Caitlyn. Nothing else. Lux and Caitlyn. And it might not even just be Lux Caitlyn, it could be Lux Caitlyn plus counter matchups, like maybe Lux is good against an enemy jungler or enemy team comp, whatever, or works with your team comp. Because this is pro player we're talking about. We're talking about the whole entire, like, there's a whole coach that thinks of like team comps and all. And when it comes to solo queue, I'm sure people are playing Lux and Caitlyn. I know in high ranks, people are down to like play whatever character, so if I were to lock in Lux support, I would most likely get a Caitlyn ADC. But we're talking about solo queue here, so we're not gonna get that all the time. You're not gonna get a Caitlyn with your Lux all the time. So, you know, they are manipulating the Lux win rate by playing her in the most favorable matchups or moments, which is Lux Caitlyn and Tarek Master here. And same with the thing with Rakan. I had like a 55% win rate on my Rakan, or 60% win rate, I don't know, when I was with my Grandmaster account. But the only reason why I could get 55% or 60% win rate on my Rakan on my Grandmaster account is because I played Rakan only in the good matchups. And if it was a bad matchup, I just dodge. So I wouldn't lose. So yeah, that is the lesson on tank support and wardens and hybrids and whatever. Melissa. Win rates don't mean anything unless you understand where they're coming from. That's why I hate when the girlies come at me with like statistics when they don't understand the statistics. I hate it so much. Something you learn in maths in university is that being able to read the statistics and read the charts is one thing. Being able to analyze and understand what that means, what the number tells you, is another thing, is another story. They are two separate things. So the next time you look at a win rate for a champion or whatever, don't just take it for face value, like, oh my god, this support has 55% win rate, so therefore it must be the strongest thing in the world and we should all one-trick this character. No. That is not how it works. The way your new account already got higher than my peak in ranked, I mean, it's easy for me to climb. People think like I'm washed up or whatever, which is like, yeah, I can. Obviously, I'm not as good as like what I used to be when I played a lot of League of Legends religiously or whatever. But like, you don't forget your skill. Like, people that say like, oh, you're ex GM or you used to be GM. It's like, you know, when I quit League of Legends and I went to Overwatch in season 6 and season 9, because I played Overwatch for 3 years because I was so over League. When I came back to League of Legends in season 9. I got to Grandmaster again in like 2 months of playing. Like, that was how easy it was for me. Just because like I'm good at the game. And it's not like you lose your skill. Like, sure, you're like a little bit rusty and sure there'll be new shit, like new items or whatever, but like you don't lose your skill. Like you can just like, anyone can just like come back like and get their original rank. So it's like, that's why I don't really like when people think like people get washed up and like you can't play the same or whatever. It's like, no, you literally can just get back to your original spot so effortlessly. I remember watching the climb and she was zooming through ranks and I think, yeah, like, cause like unless the game has like very drastic changes, like it's still like fundamentally the same stuff, like same concepts. Like nothing has really changed like season 9 to season 12. Like an assassin is still an assassin. A late game skill is still a late game skiller, you know? A roam is still a roam. It's the same thing. Nothing's really changed.